All right, everyone, please take your seat. My name is Elijah Meyer. I'm your substitute teacher for today, and what I would like everyone to do for us to get started is to pull out your notebooks and grab a pencil. We're going to learn about variability. So, starting off with the definition, variability is the lack of consistency or fixed pattern. We got it? Cool. All right, now humor me for a second. We're going to back up and relearn variability. It's just going to be taught in a different context. Put your notebooks aside and instead line up in front of this big tub of goldfish crackers that I've brought to class. Now, I have 2 paper cups for each of you, and what I would like us to do is to take the first paper cup and scoop some goldfish out. Take a second paper cup and do the same thing. Now, in the count of 3, we're going to pour out both cups and count the number of goldfish in each. 1, 2, 3. Now, as you can see, my first cup had 4 goldfish, but my second cup had 9. Now, teaching variability in this manner allowed us to discover it on our own, right? The reason that the number of goldfish in the first cup and in the second cup are different is exactly what variability is all about. But instead of just writing down a definition, you got to engage with the idea of variability. So, how should we teach variability? Well, there's not one universal way of teaching, but there is research out there that is moving education away from a more traditional lecture style of teaching, like you see on the left, where a teacher posts a definition for students to write down, and instead is moving teaching into an active learning environment, like you can see on the right, where students are allowed to talk with each other, really engage in the material, and be the center of the learning process. Now, as education is changing, so is the role of the instructor. The role of the instructor on the left, right, is to maybe create and post PowerPoint slides and talk at the students as the lecture is going on. But as we move to the active learning environment, the role of the instructor is now to facilitate conversation between students. It's to facilitate and guide them through the activities that are created, and doing so effectively so they can reap the benefits of learning in an active learning environment. Now, research shows that some of those benefits include improved retention rate, higher content knowledge, and students also improve their communication skills along the way. But if you're a graduate student teaching a class, maybe even for the first time, and this is the only type of education that you've ever experienced, well, teaching in that active learning environment could prove to be incredibly difficult with many hurdles. Yet, despite the potential for many hurdles, this hasn't stopped universities from using graduate students at an all-time high as instructors. Now, these numbers are from the American Association of University Professors from 2016, and they're reporting that universities are using graduate employees higher than tenured or tenure track faculty. Heck, even more than full-time employees. And these graduate students are often showing up in introductory courses. Now, introductory courses are really important. Introductory courses act as the gateway course for future courses that students will be able to take once they pass those intro courses. But it goes deeper than that. If students don't leave those intro courses with a high level of understanding, they're not going to be set up well to succeed in those future courses. And consequences may include a delayed graduation date, or it may stop them from graduating altogether. So, some universities have noticed this, and there are plans in place to develop and support graduate students to help teach in this active learning environment. While others use this sink or swim approach where they assign the graduate student a textbook, assign them a class, and wish them good luck, many universities have moved past this to at least offer orientations. Now, at Montana State University, at least in the mathematical sciences department, this is what we do, and these are often a week long before the semester starts. And a day of orientation may include a mock teaching demonstration, like you see on the right, where one graduate student teaches a portion of a lesson that they will teach when the semester starts to other graduate students and faculty members to get feedback on how they're teaching. Now, other universities go as far as even offering full semester-long classes about how to teach in that active learning environment, and they really focus on the content that the graduate student is going to teach as well as how to teach it. So all of this information has led us to this formula. Graduate student instructors are used at a high rate. They're incredibly important. They go through some sort of training, and in theory, they bring and use effectively active learning in their classroom. But what's missing? Well, there's actually a lot that we don't know about this equation. For example, there's still a ton of research being done on what graduate student training should even look like, right? What does orientation look like? What should we focus on? What should we not? Where my research comes in is all about the process when they start to teach. And what I'm mainly interested in is when they start teaching, what do graduate student instructors know about active learning? What are their feelings towards active learning? And are they utilizing active learning at all in their classroom? So I set out to answer these 3 questions using 2 different graduate students at Montana State University over multiple semesters. So to capture information on that 3rd question on how graduate students are using active learning in their classroom, I set up this fancy robot called the Swivel twice during their time teaching, and what this robot does is it follows them around the room and records both video and audio data to get a snapshot in time of what active learning really looks like in these graduate students' classroom. However, this robot isn't going to record what they understand about active learning or their feelings towards active learning. And so across multiple semesters, I sat down with my 2 graduate students and we had a variety of interviews. And one of many fascinating things that came out was that though both my graduate students were engaged with active learning, why they were motivated to be engaged with active learning looked very different. So my first graduate student is quoted saying, "If you stop learning as a teacher, then things get kind of stale." That really motivated me to try active learning, right? And so this graduate student is saying, "I'm motivated to engage with active learning because I don't want to be a stale teacher," right? The focus is on the instructor themselves to engage with active learning. Or my second graduate student is quoted saying, "The students have been configured in such a way that they cannot learn anything if you are not learning or using active learning in your classroom." So still highly motivated to engage with active learning, but the emphasis is all on the students. And this got me thinking, okay, it's very important to research my first 3 research questions, but if they're not motivated to use active learning, well, they're not going to bring it to the classroom at all. So I sat there and I thought, how the heck can we motivate graduate students to engage with active learning? The answer's got to be obvious. It's got to be right in front of me, and I'm just not seeing it. Right? Everyone's probably saying, pay them more, and they will teach the way you want. Well, there's a couple issues with that. The first issue being that when you compensate someone to try to get them to do something, it actually results in very short-term motivation. And when graduate students teaching for multiple semesters while they're in a certain program, that's not really going to work. Every semester is just as important as the next, right? And also, universities are not just going to shovel out more money to graduate students. So this got me thinking about another question, right? What motivates graduate students to teach? So how I'm researching this question is I am looking at a variety of surveys that help measure someone's motivation, and I'm adapting it to a teaching context to really find out what makes these graduate students tick. So with information on how motivated graduate students are to teach, as well as what they understand, feel, and what active learning looks like in their classroom, my hope is that professional development programs can harness all of this information and really help develop an effective professional development place that starts them off on the right track and can support and develop and guide them through teaching their entire academic career, so that the students can take advantage of all of the benefits that an active learning environment has to offer. Well, that's the bell for today's class. Please make sure to grab your stuff, grab your backpacks as you leave, and I hope that you see an active learning environment in your next class and for your classes to come. Thank you.